What's up, guys? This is Todd here. Today we're going to be talking about drum rudiments. Now, if you search online, you can find that there are 40 essential drum rudiments out there. I'm still not convinced that all 40 are actually essential in terms of their application in musical setting. But there are 5 basic rudiments that all sticking combinations are based off of. Anything you play on the practice pad, snare drum, drum set, whatever. They're all based on these 5 sticking patterns. And those are single strokes, double strokes, paradiddles, flams, and buzz rolls, or multiple stroke rolls, crush rolls, press rolls, whatever you want to call them. So let's break them down one by one. Alright, so the first rudiment we're going to talk about is the single stroke roll. And this is the most basic sticking pattern your hands can do. It's just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, played continuously. And the key to this is to play cleanly. And the way to develop that is to practice with a metronome. Start at a fairly slow tempo where you can just play straight, consistent 16th notes. So we're going to start at 100 BPM. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want to practice with a stopwatch and get this up to the point where you can hold it for a minute, playing good, consistent, clean strokes, and then bump it up to 110, 120, 130, and so on. And what this does is it'll build muscle memory so that you can play good, clean, consistent strokes at a wide range of tempos. Alright, so the next rudiment we're going to talk about is the double stroke roll. Sticking for this one is right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, played continuously. So it sounds like this. And this, as you can see, involves another technique, which is a bounce. And if you think about the throw-catch exercise, one way to look at this is it's like you're letting it bounce. You throw it, let it bounce once, and then catch it. And this is once you get to a certain tempo. When you're starting out, you're using your whole wrist to make both strokes. And then when you get a little faster, probably about right here, is when the sticks start bouncing. And this takes a little while to get this down. It certainly takes practice, and just stick with it and you will get it. And eventually, you want to have a great control over that second note. And you're not just kind of aimlessly throwing the stick down and hoping that it's going to bounce twice. You want to actually, it's kind of like you're pulling that note out of the head. And so you can play it on other surfaces, like I could play it on my leg. Or I can play it on a pillow. You know, surfaces that don't have any bounce, but you can still pull that second stroke out of the pillow. So just like the single stroke, a way to work on this is just to set your metronome to a slow tempo where you can hold this out for a whole minute. You know, once you get the bounce idea down. So I'm just going to set my metronome to 100 beats per minute. And I'm just going to play 16th notes, but the sticking is going to be right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Those are 8th notes, but it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. And I'm using just a tiny bit of bounce at that tempo, 100 beats per minute. Once you're comfortable there, just keep building it up until a point where you're using almost all bounce for that second stroke. But you still have control over it. Alright guys, numero tres is the paradiddle. This is just a combination of a single stroke and a double stroke. So the sticking goes right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And if you can see, the single stroke part is the right, left, and the double stroke is the right, right. And same the other way, left, right, single stroke pattern, left, left, double stroke. So it looks like this. And again, same thing we did with the single strokes and double strokes. We're just going to set the metronome to 100 BPM and just play 16th notes with this sticking pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 4. And again, hold this out for a minute. And then keep bumping up your tempo ranges. And one thing to note is these are just the most basic exercises you can do with these rudiments. There are a lot more applications that probably seem like a lot more fun that we will certainly get into in other videos and other lessons. But these are the basics, the building blocks. You're building up your muscle memory. And even for an experienced player, I still work on this every day. Just sit down when I'm first starting to play and practice these for about a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes each. And that's how you build it up. Alright, next up is the flam. The flam is basically a main stroke with a small pickup note played just before it. So it sounds and looks like this. So if the main stroke is on your right hand, you're just going to do a little pickup note that's just before the main stroke. And vice versa with the left hand. And this is very useful on the drum set. It takes a little bit of time to develop just the timing between your hands. You know, you don't want them to hit in unison, but you also don't want them to hit, you know, it's not like that. It's what you focus on is the main note. Say it's going to hit on a downbeat, which if we turn the metronome on, 100 BPM once again. Just think about hitting a stroke on the beat 1 of every bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to have a little pickup note just before that 1. 3, 4. And on the left, and then we're going to do it every 2 beats, so on the 1 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And alternating hands. So right flam, left flam, right flam, left flam, right flam, left flam, right flam, left flam. Then every beat. Then eighth notes. 3, 4. The key again is to practice these. Start off just playing on the downbeats, beat 1 of each bar, and then move it up to 1 and 3, then move it up to every beat, then eighth notes, and so on, and then bump up the tempo range once you can do eighth notes, at 100 comfortably, then start bumping up the tempo range. And again, this has tons of applications. It's kind of monotonous just to practice this. But once you get it, we'll talk about a lot more cool stuff you can do with the flam. Alright guys, the last rudiment we're going to tackle is the buzz roll. Crush roll, press roll, multiple stroke roll, whatever you want to call it. Make up your own name for it. Basically, this is very similar to the double stroke roll, where you're letting the sticks bounce. But whereas with the double stroke roll, you catch it after one bounce, with the buzz roll, you're kind of pressing the stick into the drum head and letting it bounce multiple times. It's not really a defined amount of times. You just kind of let it bounce till it has this buzz sound. And a good way to practice this, again, set the metronome. We're going to set it to 70 BPM, a little bit slower. And we're just going to play straight 16th notes. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. And once you get that going consistently, you're just going to add in the buzzes on each beat. And you can see that at a tempo kind of that slow, you're just getting the feel for it. You probably wouldn't really play that very often. It's usually used for kind of faster tempos, like, we'll go back to 100. And even, you know, once you get comfortable there, obviously keep stepping it up. This is about 130. And so on. So that's the 5 basic rudiments, guys. Practice these for 15 minutes a day before you sit down to practice, you know, before you get onto the drum set. Just practice these on the pad. The throat catch exercise and these 5 basic rudiments. Definitely with the metronome and at a tempo range where it's very clean, consistent, and that's what you're going for. And I guarantee this will help your playing tremendously once you get better and better at these rudiments. So thanks guys, we'll see you soon.